Hey, it's Ash and I'm the vegan neuropsychologist, and this is a hopefully quick video about how streamlining our lives can make us happier and healthier, and it can even make us smarter. So I have spoken about decluttering and minimalism before on this channel, and I know that these are pretty hot topics right now. There's people all over the world who have gotten tremendous benefits simply by removing the unnecessary physical items from their environment. And so the benefits could be anything from better stress management to a smaller waistline to a bigger bank account. Did you know though that the principles of minimalism and decluttering can even extend to our daily schedule? And I know it sounds a bit weird to think about decluttering our calendars, so I like to think of it as streamlining. And it works on the same principles as minimalism. It's getting rid of the unnecessary so that we have more time and attention to focus on what really matters. So I highly recommend that we all take the time to streamline our calendars, and I'll give you 3 reasons why. So the first one is that by streamlining our calendars, we actually reduce stress and overwhelm simply by having less to do. And it makes so much sense. The less that we have on our to-do list for any given day, the less stress we're going to experience. Now, I'm not suggesting that we get rid of the stuff that's actually vitally important, like taking care of the kids or going and earning some money to pay the rent. What I'm talking about is getting rid of the unnecessary stuff, the stuff that we do not necessarily because we want to, but maybe we found ourselves in the habit of doing. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. We spend about 80 to 90% of our life on autopilot. That means that we're not making deliberate and conscious decisions about the things that we do. We do things because we've always done them. We're used to them. We do things because other people have expected us to do them, and we've just gone along for the ride. And it's amazing how when we bring just a little bit more thoughtfulness and a bit more intention to what we're actually doing, it's quite amazing how much of it is really unnecessary. The second reason to streamline our schedule is because those unnecessary tasks, they're not just taking up our time and attention, but they're actually getting in the way of doing the stuff that we want to be doing. So when we think about what's really important to us, it could be our family or our friends or our career or our greater mission in life. And the stuff that's not relevant to those priorities, to those things that we hold with such importance, those unnecessary things are just drawing away our time and attention, and they're often impeding on those things that we really want to be doing. So by streamlining our schedule, we find ourselves with fewer distractions and a greater capacity to actually focus on what we want to do. And the third reason to streamline our schedules, and this could be the most important reason, it's by having these gaps in our day. It actually allows us room for flexibility and even a little bit of boredom. And that's where creativity thrives. And when we're able to be creative as opposed to following some rigid schedule or some rigid to-do list, then we have the ability to really unleash the full power of our brain, the full power of our intellect. When we're constantly rushing from one thing to the next, and we're overscheduled and we feel like we're always running late, it actually puts our body in the fight or flight state. So I'm sure you've heard of the fight or flight response. It's an acute stress state. And one of the things that happens is that it changes the way that our brain processes information. So we become very narrow-minded in our thinking, and it becomes hard for us to really use the full power of our reasoning and our problem solving and our analytical skills and our logical thinking skills. When we're operating in that fight or flight response, we tend to react rather than thoughtfully respond. We're so focused on what it is that we're doing that we find it hard to see the bigger picture, and this can be a real problem in terms of fully utilizing the power of our brain to solve problems and overcome the challenges that we have. So by removing the unnecessary, we actually allow room for flexibility and spontaneity, and this is where the full power of our creativity can be unleashed. Now you might be wondering, how do I decide what to keep and what to eliminate in my schedule? Now, I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, because only you can decide that, depending on your priorities. One suggestion I have is to do a time audit. That's where you keep track of where you're spending your time. Now, you might want to break it down into hourly blocks or half-hour blocks and be honest with yourself. How much time are you spending doing the things that you think you're doing? Now, we might think we're at work for 8 hours a day, but I guarantee all of those 8 hours are not spent doing work. So we need to actually keep tabs on what we're doing. How much time are we checking email? How much time are we on Facebook? How much time are we chatting to our co-workers, or having a coffee break, or going for a walk, or watching YouTube? Now, I'm not saying we need to get rid of all of our distractions and pacifiers, because we're human after all. We have hard days, we have hard weeks, we have days where we just want to sit on the couch for a while and just zone out and watch YouTube for half an hour. And I think that that's great. What I think we can do is bring some intentionality about it and make a decision that right now I am deciding just to waste 45 minutes. And this is the thing that I'm going to do for my own mental health. So I think a time audit can be really valuable in drawing our attention to what we're actually doing with our time versus what we think we're doing with our time. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Let me know your thoughts. Have you ever considered streamlining your life, or have you done that already? Have you ever done a time audit? Leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel if you like hearing about mental health and personal development and things related to veganism, and I will see you in the next video.